I want to talk in the next two segments about porn, and Debbie's like, "Are you sure you want to talk about porn again, Dinesh? People may start thinking that you're like into porn." I'm like, I'm not into porn. She goes, "I know, but people might think you are." But the reason I'm talking about this topic is because there is a porn star named Brandi Love. Now, I'm reliably informed that is not her real name. It's not Brandi Love. It's really something else. I don't know, probably Bathsheba Finkelstein, but it doesn't sound good. Come and see this porn show starring Bathsheba Finkelstein. No, it's Brandi Love. And I guess this is a pattern among porn stars. In the 1980s, there was a porn star. I guess, do you remember? Was it Long Dong Silver? And I'm reliably informed that that's not his real name.
I don't know.
I used to think his first name was Long and his middle name was Dong, but apparently that is not the case. Well, anyway, back to my story. Brandi Love was kicked out of this Turning Point USA conference when a bunch of people began to complain, "Hey, there's a porn star walking around." And now, Brandi Love was evidently not a speaker at the conference, but she had bought a $500 VIP ticket, and she was posing with photos. Here, in fact, she's standing in front of Fox Nation. She's standing in front of the Trump bus, and she's a real Trumpster. And she seemed to be very excited to be at the conference, but evidently people began to rail on her at the conference and on social media. And so Turning Point USA sent her an email, which she posted on social media saying, "We regret to inform you that your invitation has been revoked. The decision is final." And now she's on the warpath, and she's basically accusing Turning Point USA of being a kind of a Christian cult. And she says that they're sort of as bad as Antifa. So this is really what, has gotten all kinds of people, Sohrab Ahmari of the New York Post and Jack Posobiec and all these social media commentators are now weighing in on this on both sides. And there are some conservatives not defending porn stars, but saying, "Hey, listen, we're supposed to be the party of the big tent, and why are we kicking someone out when they're merely an attendee at a conference?" And so this is kind of what I want to examine a little bit. Porn has become a very pervasive force in our society, and I think a very destructive one. I don't frankly get its appeal. When I was a freshman in college, I may have mentioned this on the podcast before, I was dragged by some of my friends, and some people are going to say, "Well, dragged? Really, Dinesh? Were you really dragged? Are you sure you weren't dragging them?" But no, they were like, they were like, "There's a porn movie and you got to go," and stuff. So any event, I went to see it, but literally, it held my interest for about 180 seconds, which is to say about 3 minutes. And after that, I was literally falling asleep because it was just unbelievably monotonous, unbelievably boring. And I'm like, what? I mean, this is going to kill my sex drive for life. It's going to injure me. So in any event, that was my exposure to porn at the age of 18, I guess. Now, Debbie, I got to tell you, and I'm maybe speaking out of school here, but was actually dragged by a girlfriend. In this case, I know this to be, she was dragged to see a movie called Magic Mike. And she had no idea what this movie is. Now, the movie's not porn. It's about this male stripper. And so Debbie walks into the theater and there are like 200 women, and she looks around, she goes, "This is really strange. Only women in the theater. What's going on?" And her friend's like, "You don't know what this movie's about?" And Debbie's like, "No, I had no idea." So, so evidently, this is Debbie's exposure to the world of the male stripper. Now, I guess the appeal of porn for people who watch porn is they think it's, oh my God, it's this, this unbelievable variety, all this, look at that lucky guy, all those chicks and stuff like that. But of course, you got to remember that all those chicks are getting paid. This guy wouldn't be getting all those chicks if there wasn't money involved. Or even, I think probably for some people, they don't have deep human relationships and they look to porn to substitute for that. So in a way, the benefit of porn is that you don't have to actually deal with anybody. You don't have to actually make a human connection. It's sort of all at the level of it's all at the level of fantasy, this kind of fantasy world you immerse yourself into. But of course, the fantasy is not what's really going on, because if you could just widen the angle of porn, you just see all these producers and all these editors. Hey, move a little closer. Hey, we can't see anything. Move the camera closer. So this is really what's going on. It's all fake, but it's all fake to create a sense of illusion for people who don't want to deal with actual human beings. Now, I think part of the controversy here at Turning Point USA is this as a kind of libertarian view of the right. That is, leave us alone. We're the leave us alone party. And what people do in private is their own business. And this woman may be a porn star, but so what? In the words of one social media guru, she is a, quote, conservative porn star. And that alone is an interesting term, a conservative porn star. Or, quote, she's a Florida businesswoman who's just a Trumpster. So let her be. And that's kind of the libertarian sensibility, and we've seen some of that. And then there's the conservative view, which is that, look, you've got parents who are sending their 19-year-olds over to this conference. This is supposed to be a group that is conservative and Christian. What if it's not just a matter of what if my son comes home and he's got all these pictures with this porn star, a porn star, by the way, who makes no bones about being that. But what if he then goes, wow, she was really cool. I got to go check out her work. I put the word work here in quote marks. So the conservative sensibility is about these conferences really establishing a certain moral custodianship of young people and not exposing them to, there's plenty of this in the culture already, so you don't expect to have this at a conservative conference. And I think it is the divide between the libertarian and the conservative thrust. This is really the heart of the debate over Brandi love.